It's Monday, cocksuckers, and you better come prepared because they don't fuck around on Monday. Monday, most people come in, I had such a great weekend. Oh my God, go fuck yourself. That was then. This is now, bitch. It's a whole new set of rules. It's Monday. If you ain't waking up with the taste of blood in your fucking mouth like a shark 5 feet from the shore, you fucked up. You understand? Because Monday is when you go, everybody else is like, still the weekend, you fucking up.
Hey,
What up? Welcome, Motivation Monday. It's your boy Talent over here. Amir Silly's on location, getting it together.
Yes, I am.
Super duper producer. I just want to start off by saying my puppy is 3 months old, and this little girl big as hell. Like this little girl tall, got the paws, the feet. This is gonna be very interesting around this house. I don't know what the future gonna hold for this house, but I'm ecstatic. She's just a beautiful in stature, and some of our good friends, Tina and Otis and Diane and Rick, they've been like surrogate parents. So they jumped in her life early on. Which is the difference. I got 3 generations in this house. Well, really 4 generations, but from this line, 3 generations where the dogs is funny because the first one is fully COVID, so like no social skills. The second one, the next generation, is half of that because we started to go outside again, got half social skill, and then this one here, we out. So this one here is normal, right? So you're dealing with 3 different motherfucking. Imagine that. Put that in your. It's like the slave black person, the civil rights black person, and LeBron James. You know what I'm saying? Like 3 different blacks. So anyway, that's my story here in the house. Happy Monday, partner in crime. Hope your weekend was good, brother. My weekend was almost perfect. It was almost perfect. I only say almost because one of our good friends, Aldo, is Sagittarius, and he was celebrating a birthday. And I could tell him rubbing off on him because when I was like, yo, what do you want for your birthday? All he wanted was all of us to get together and kick it at his house, right? He just wanted all his friends at his house. That's some talent shit, right? That like loving and enjoying certain camaraderie and company. So we put the plan together for yesterday to go over there, watch some games. The World Cup was on in the morning. As soon as that's over, the football start. Stop by Sammy's, bring some of our favorite seafood, drinks, kick the works. And don't get me wrong, they had a fucking blast at my expense. How about I bought the food and couldn't make it? So the airport was crazy. Just to recap, people, shout out to my people. I see Trina on him, Miss Pink, Alfreda Popson, Rochester's in the building. I was supposed to be there Thursday. My weekend was supposed to start Thursday in the Rock and then fly to Atlanta for Friday and Saturday, and then Sunday be at Aldo's house. Boom, weekend. Didn't happen. They got weather, so we had to postpone that last minute and push it back to this Thursday. So we didn't make it to the Rock. But however, I kept my plan. So you know what, T? It's gonna be the weather's gonna be crazy all over. Go to the airport Friday. Try to jump on some Friday, get where you gotta be so you're there. And not fighting day of show, right? Which glad I did. It took forever. The flights, because we got a lot of rain and windstorm. Yeah. So the flights was every flight delayed 2-3 hours, canceled. Delayed 2-3 hours, canceled. This shit went on. Mind you, I'm in the airport at fucking time. I think I was there dumb early. So I'm in this goddamn airport. Yeah, I was in the airport like 11 a.m. So I'm in the airport, bro. 11 a.m. I get on a flight 11 p.m. That's how many flights, 4 or 5. So I finally land at damn near 1 in the morning. You ever be so delirious, tired that I'm hungry? I haven't eaten all day, but I had to make a choice.
Eat or chill.
It's like, I say, fuck this food. I'll see y'all over coffee in the morning. I had to lay down. Long story short, they picked me up the next day, drove me an hour and some change out to Decula. Shout out to the good people at Decula and Eddie's place out there. My girl Alicia Coley. They got a great thing going on out there, man. They've been doing it for years, every month. Black-owned establishment. It's a what do they call it? A barbecue spot. You know what I mean? Nice. So I eat there, but I drank there, performed there, black, and I just loved everything about it. And let me tell you how weird God works. Because I was supposed to go to Rochester, I had a backpack with mostly hoodies because because last time I went, I didn't bring any because I was rushing. I was like, people could beat me in the head. Yo, I want a sweatshirt. What up? I said, I'm packing a lot of hoodies. It's cold. They should sell, right? End up not going to Rochester, but not thinking and switching the bag up. I got the same fucking bag in Atlanta. But guess what, Amir? It's how good God is. It's cold as a motherfucking Atlanta. So I think I had like 12, 13 hoodies in his bag. Dude, they bought all these fucking, and I'm saying to myself, I didn't see that shit coming. That blinds. I mean, I'm happy to sell any of my merch, because it's just comedy. The brand's bigger than me. It's bigger than the game. You know what I mean? When I'm going, it's going to be here. So, but to see them pick it up, I was just ecstatic about that. Show was crazy. Again, tried to get out to Aldo House Sunday. Same thing. The flight guards was like, chill.
Calm down.
I caught me a little $60 room, thugged it out. You know what I mean? Woke up this morning. And the crazy shit, this is how crazy the airport looks. I don't know how many people have ever been in Atlanta airport. It's the most busiest airport, if not one of, it might be behind JFK, but it's one of the busiest top 3 we got in the country, right?
Yeah.
It was so, I thought yesterday trying to get out, I didn't get out, was crazy. But I went back this morning, dude. It was tenfold worse as far as people. But on my flights, I'm good money. But just as far as people, I was like, you gotta be fucking kidding me. So anyway, I get back, go to Aldo, pick me up some Sam's, come home. Weekend done data. How was yours?
Weekend was good, man. Friday night, I did some cool out stuff. Some of my people wanted to have some at the crib, so I slid by there. And early this year, I had gone by the same friend's house, and they played this game called Right, Left, Center with these 3 dice. It's like this gambling game. So I didn't think much of it.
That sounds like fun.
I gotta get you the dice and the whole 9. And it's like you gamble, but you had like $2, a piece. So if you roll a right or left, and you got to pass $2 to the person to the left of you or the person to the right of you, you get the seat, and you got to put the $2 in the center, and you keep going until it's just somebody wins it all. It's such a fun game, and it happens so quickly that before you know it, you're in a hole, without even thinking about it. So I went and did that. That was Friday into Saturday. I mean, that was Friday night. That was cool. Saturday was on some cool out. And then yesterday, I really just chilled in the house because I was like, looking forward and coming into this week. I'm, traveling Mercy by the end of the week. I'm going to Vegas from Thursday to the 3rd. Mm-hmm. So I was like, yo, let me, do the stuff I need to do, get myself together. So this way I could, whatever. That's why y'all see me on location. I'm in the laundromat. For everybody who's wondering what this craziness is behind me. But it was a good weekend, man. Got a chance to catch some of the games. And finally, I finally saw the Redemption joint on Netflix. That was really good. Redemption. With LeBron and Kobe and them, the Redemption team thing. I finally saw
it. Good. I thought it was good, right?
It was really good. I was like, okay. You know what's so funny? I never hated Kobe, but I had a different love and a different respect for him from that, from that particular documentary. Because I feel like it's funny how, to your point, God seems to know how to put things in place for you even when you don't know what you need. And I think Kobe needed that moment to evolve into the Kobe who eventually, was able to go on and win another championship and all that stuff by, LeBron and these dudes who were younger than him but were coming on, had the dag. I got to embrace this a little bit. These little young Thundercats is coming after me. But you know what? It's all good. That's how this game goes. That's the evolution of, life. So I thought it was really, really good, man. So
that's a dope documentary. And you're right, though. Yeah. You know what? That was the moment where I think he really felt like Jordan, because he was that to Jordan.
Yeah.
So now you see the LeBrons and the Melos and everybody. Now you feel like, oh, I know what Jordan felt like now when I came with him. You know what I mean? So yeah. It was dope.
It was very motivational. So I was glad that I, got a chance to check that out. I don't know if you've ever watched Leverage. There was a show that came out called Leverage.
They brought it back.
They brought it back, so I
Yeah,
watched
they
the
brought
whole
it
new
back.
season. I watched the whole new season over
But
the
remember, I
weekend.
told you that. Remember, I told you that's
Yeah.
what I like about streaming, all these streaming services. Because when we have regular TV and maybe HBO Showtime, when they canceled some shit, it was canceled. There was no hope of seeing it again. And we probably wasn't, the people wasn't ready for it to go. The people that's paying the bills directly was like, oh, we not cutting no more checks or
Yeah.
salaries capped out. Now with the streaming services, good shows, like even when I like Lucifer, when they killed Lucifer,
Yo,
two more, 3 more seasons, I was like, thank you.
this is my joint too.
It's dope,
I
right?
see me and you like, yeah, I see me and you like all the crazy shows. I be having people, they be like, I said, y'all don't be catching these shows, Blacklist, none of this stuff. So all these shows are so dope. They have you thinking like, yo, wait a minute, this is
Exactly.
wild out here.
But see, a lot of people don't like to think.
That's true too.
We'll get
true
to that, but that's why a lot of shit you may be into, people may not be into. Like, and I get it. When I'm home and I'm watching shit, like right now, the shit I'm watching right now, 90% of my friends have never watched this shit. I think this shit is fucking dope. But the horizons are not broad. They like what they like and they stay in that zone. And no disrespect. I respect it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, for sure. So yeah, so so like I said, all in all, it was a great weekend, man. I'm looking forward to this week, the
This
closing
week
out
is
this
gonna be
weekend.
bananas.
I see that, sir. By the way,
This
I
week
saw
is
the
bro,
lineup. I said, oh Lord,
tomorrow's gonna start the bullshit. So
I
we're getting ready
saw
for all
that.
the bullshit. I'm glad you had a good weekend, bro. This week, actually, by the time it's funny because somebody hit me and was like, "Yo, you know, I had nothing on the weekend." I said, "Well, I don't know if you're paying attention to the calendar. The weekend is the actual Christmas, and fucking they're falling on the weekend this year. So we getting everything done leading up to it because we know how we grown. Most of the people that's grown, they got family duties, so they can't move like they would move any other weekend. Because guess what? Saturday's fucking Christmas Eve. Bro.
Facts, super facts. I
You
was
know what I
like,
mean?
damn.
If you out on
Yeah.
Christmas Eve on Saturday, your kids are grown, or you don't give a fuck,
You don't care.
or you homeless. Whatever. So that is what it is. Happy holidays, everybody. Welcome to Motivation Monday. As promised 2 weeks ago, we promised this whole month as we come on, we're going to be talking about the holidays and stuff like that because it's very important. Now, I want to get to later in the show, us supporting us, like buying black and black businesses and all that. But before I do that, I want to bring awareness to everybody to pay attention to. We have to stop. It's a change of seasons. And when I say that, I mean a change of what we may be used to in more fields than one. We're living in way more blended times, what I would call blended times, meaning it's not so black and white. There was a lot of shit in our childhood. We're in our 50s. So when we were growing up, it was very simple to pinpoint black and white. Like take crime, for instance. Something come on the news, some sort of crime. We hear what the crime is. We go, oh, that was a white dude. Oh, that crazy shit. That was a white person. You know what I mean? And then you hear some shit. Oh, that might have been black. Like we know it was that black and white. Certain things we weren't known for. Certain things our constituents were known for. So we could kind of decipher as it went. Now, the reason I call them blended times is because that's no longer what I'm seeing. That's no longer how we're moving. Now I used to have a joke about that, Amir. Remember the DC sniper?
Yes.
I used to have this whole bit about, we hear it on the news and we know, it's a white dude. Everybody thought when they heard the sniper, oh, some crazy white dude out there sniping. And when they fucking pulled that black dude out with the handcuffs on, everybody was like, oh shit, it's a nigga. Like niggas at work was taking days off. Like, don't talk to me, Tom. I don't talk about it. You know what I'm saying? So shit like that has changed. Now, one of the things that I'm noticing that never used to be hugely associated with people of color, that now kind of color doesn't matter, is suicide.
Yes.
Rest in peace and condolences to the family of DJ Twitch, who seemingly had everything in the world to be happy for. I seen his wife, I seen his kids, lifestyle he's living. More importantly, just as an entertainer, who wouldn't have loved to work with Ellen at that capacity? He worked with Ellen every day to such a huge capacity on the Ellen show that when she got in a little turmoil and needed to take some time off, they let him run the show. They let him host the show. Dude, I don't know if motherfuckers understand how big that is, because the Ellen show was Oprah.
Yes.
In daytime talk television. It was that level of, hey, what the fuck is you doing? I'm fucking you up. Talking to the dog. It was that level. You know, Ellen was the level of an Oprah show. Daytime television. Without Oprah, now you have Ellen. It was that level. So my thing was, wow, to give this dude who started just entertaining a little dancing here and there, DJing a little here and there. You know, he was like the hype guy, whatever. Mm-hmm. To get him in the rings eventually was amazing to me, and it was a great place to be in. And I say all that to say, seemingly, you're good. You arrived. Yeah. You got this astonishing position and job and blah, 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 and everything. And 2 hours surprise and dismay, not so much. Something's going on under the layers. Under the layers, something going on. Now, this is just one guy, but if we look back over the last, not even, you ain't got to go back a decade, like 5, 6 years, like 2, 3 years pre-COVID, we got a nice little number of Black people. I'm not talking about just celebrities and known people, people of color and period that are dealing with what they would say is deep depression, you know, and have all of these stresses going on and these diagnoses of whether it's bipolar, whether it's schizophrenia, whether they're on the spectrum, whatever the case may be. People of color are dealing with layers of stuff that are covered layers with one thing, and this underlining thing, whatever that may be. I don't know if it's, you know, sometimes you lose folks that you love and you don't want to be here without them. Sometimes, you know, you go through changes. Like you said, mental illness is real and you want to take yourself out that way. Or sometimes something, you're afraid of something. And maybe you have something going on where, you know, you feel like you got to make a decision of, if I stay, they may harm my family. So let me go, you know what I mean? Or harm me and not my family. Whatever, you know, the circumstances is. They're blended times is my point. We're living in a time that's not so cut and dry of black and white. You know what I mean? And I know people hear it all the time, but it's one thing to hear it and it's another thing to hear it. Yes. I need us to hear it. I know we hear it all the time, but I need us to hear it that we don't never know what's going on with people, what they're really dealing with. You know, we see them and how we see them, and maybe, you know, we're friends and colleagues on the surface, and then they leave you and they go home and they cut their light on or close their door, lock their door, and whatever the fuck is really going on is heavy.
Yeah. You know, you know, it's so crazy, T, and I think you know, hit the nail on the head. I mean, obviously, you know, again, with this being the holiday season, and as you know, started with earlier, happy holidays to everyone. Season's greetings and all that good stuff. You're absolutely right. We have got to understand that beyond just the regular everyday challenges, for lack of a better word, that everybody's up against, this time of year in particular becomes even that much more challenging for a lot of people, for the fact that they may have lost friends and family members, they may have lost brothers and sisters, and things of that magnitude. You may have lost your significant other, you know, so many different things. You may have lost children. So it becomes a really, really tough time of the year. And I think, to your point, what's happening, because we find it hard to be transparent at times. And I know it's hard because, you know, everybody's afraid of somebody maybe bringing something back up that they told them about or something like that. Yo, son, are you gonna bring that back and embarrass me or whatever? But I think we've got to understand that, you know, one, you need to choose your friends and the people who you decide to share information with a little bit better. You have to understand your friends, because, you know, we all know the friends who gossip. We all know the friends who, you know, can keep a secret. We all know the friends who are good, you know, are an ear that you can bend, and, you know, things like that. And you have to take that chance, and you have to be honest with yourself. First and foremost, find out if, you know, if they're capable of listening to you and trying to do the best they can to give you what advice they can give you. Because at the same time, we all have to understand that everybody's being challenged. There is nobody walking the planet right now who's not being challenged in some way, shape, or form. So don't think that by getting the weight off of your chest and putting it on somebody else's shoulders, that any way, shape, or form that's going to be a great thing. What that's going to do is put double the work on top of them in some cases, which may, be what, happened to DJ Twitch. Again, nobody knows, but it just, brings to light for me that we all have to do a much better job of understanding that the reaching out, the text messages, the phone calls, the face-to-faces where you can, because again, everybody still may or may not tell you the truth, just because, like I said, there's this sense of, I don't want people to think I'm soft or weak or whatever, funny ideologies and dumb talk we give to ourselves. Y'all stop not getting things off your chest. Stop not going to seek professional help if you need professional help. There's nothing wrong with that. You know what I'm saying? If you need to get you somebody who you could talk to that is not, your friends and family because they're partial, then do so. But don't keep trying to keep that weight on your shoulders, because what tends to happen is not only does it weigh you down, but at some point then you internalize it differently. And internalization from that sometimes leads to the cancers and leads to all these other illnesses that we hear people getting into. And people be like, I don't understand how this person got this again. You never let go of stuff. I put up a post, I think it was yesterday, something about forgiveness. And I think that, I don't know if people really read it and understood it. You got to learn to forgive. You can't just keep holding on to stuff. Somebody did you wrong in 82. We in 2022. That's 40 years ago or something like that. You got to let it go. What you going to do? You can't go back in time. You can't make that moment happen again. You just got to go. I learned from it going forward. Hopefully I won't put myself in that kind of position again, because now I understand what that looks like. Right. But I think the biggest thing, to your point, T, is, like I said, especially at this time of year, do yourself a favor, do your friends a favor, do your family a favor, and check and then genuinely ask questions. When you call one of your peoples and their voice don't sound right. And it doesn't mean that, you try to push them, to the point, but you sure you're all right over there, man? Because I know you. Normally you sound like this, or, you're in this kind of energy. Today, you don't sound like yourself. Today, you don't appear to be the person who I'm so used to or accustomed to, talking to and being around. And then allow them to decide whether or not they want to, unload or say whatever it is they need to say. And if they don't, then you don't, you kind of wait and give it a couple of days, and then maybe you call back a couple of days later just to go, hey, man, I was thinking about you, he was on my mind, man. Just, again, checking in, seeing how you're doing, see what's going on. Because I promise you, between 2020 and 2020 and where we are now, there's a lot of people still trying to unpack all of that stuff. It's the honest to God truth. There's a lot of people who haven't been able to unpack that, because I got sent in my house. I got shut down. I had to get a new job. I had to switch careers. I found out I didn't like my kids. I found out I didn't like my significant other. My mama was never on my side. My dad, I didn't even know he was like that. I'm telling you, there's a lot of stuff that people are processing now. And you guys have heard me say this, with this last week coming up, this week and next week coming up, for me, this is that time of year where I do all my assessing. I try to look back over my year and see what things I did well, what things I didn't do so well, maybe the friendships and relationships that I did or didn't handle as good as I could have, and, try to look to make, adjustments so that I do better in the, upcoming year. I know some of y'all call it resolutions and you have all these various things that you call it. I just say make the adjustments, because resolutions just sounds funny to me, with you lying to yourself about, I'm going to do this, that, the third, and then, a week in, you ain't doing none of the stuff you said.
Resolutions.
Just make
It's funny shit itself. No, it's funny you bring that up about, what those different reasons may be, because while in the airport, you find yourself trying to kill time. So I'm doing a lot of extra shit that, I wouldn't do in reading up on some of the, for lack of a better word, beefs that's going on in social media. And one that stood out this morning is Master P and his son Romeo. I don't know if you've been seeing what's going on there. So apparently Romeo put a big tweet out, put a post up. I don't know if it's few days ago, or a couple of days ago, but he put a post up, and it was really him kind of venting. But in venting, it was a bunch of questions. Like he was like, why this, why that, blah blah blah. But when you're listening to all of what he was writing, he basically, the questions was kind of like rhetorical, but aimed at his dad. So he was starting to say a lot of stuff like, this picture you create of yourself to the public is not what it is. It's not who you are. Those of us who live with you and raised by you and married to you and all that, it's not the nigga you are. You keep putting to the public. He was like, yo, you can't do an interview. It was funny. I mean, I laughed, but it's funny. But it's serious. He was like, you can't do an interview without holding a product. He said his dad's become kind of addicted to social media, where he's selling this image extra and always coming up with some shit and trying to sell something. I could sell how to teach you how to do this, or this is my thing, I own this, or support this, or whatever. And he's like, can't do an interview without holding the thing. So, and he goes into capsizing it, encapsulating it under mental illness, like that. Trauma, mental illness and trauma. So he's putting it on self, like, he's dealt with a lot of trauma over the years. You know what I mean? Meaning how he was raised. You know what I mean? And come the father, sees the post, I guess, or whatever, and got his rebuttal of, yo, man, why are you getting on social media saying these things, man? Let's deal with this shit in house. Blah, 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 blah. And, Romeo goes on and says something to the effect of, let's just keep it real. He said, now I understand, the people who are the strongest and the realest are the people who don't have this platform or voice. He was talking about his mom. And he was like, you're the celebrity, so you have the platform, so you're painting this picture or whatever. When actuality, the way you were is opposite. And mom had to deal with that shit. Mom had to be the soldier and blah, blah, blah. And, I'm traumatized because of it or whatever, right? And he goes and says, like, for example, I've never gotten paid for any project we've done. Anything that I've done under you, you've handled it, the business and all that. I've never gotten paid for it. And blah, 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 this, that, and the third. And he throws in it. You don't have to believe me. Ask C Murder, ask one more name in there, but people down with the no limit thing. Basically, he's like, people that are related and closest to you, you treat us the worst. You diss us the worst. But if it's some outsider you're doing business with, they get paid on the up and up, but we've never got paid. And then come Master P back with the whole, why are you doing this on social media? Don't stop playing the victim. Don't cry victim. Blah, blah, blah. If you really got mental illness and trauma, and this is stuff that we can handle, and you know what I mean. So they're going back and forth with the shit. And he's like, you're a father now, so you have to move a certain way. This, that, and the third. And I'm curious to see how this pans out. So it's interesting that you bring that up at this time. And I just read that earlier. So I know we're starting the first half of the show off heavy, but I just think it's something that needed to be touched on and addressed on Motivational Monday, because we are talking about the holiday season, and Amir ain't lie. You're right. It's certain times that trigger certain feelings, and it's almost impossible for you not to feel, family shit and family woes during the Christmas holidays, because for your entire life, this time of year, you grew up and this was the fucking capital of family. Yes. Thanksgiving and fucking Christmas. New Year's may be a little different. New Year's it really became significant with your grown part of life. As a kid, New Year's wasn't shit. Nothing. Literally nothing. Like literally. I mean, you might have got to stay up late and watch the ball drop. Right? It meant jack shit to you as a kid. But when you talk about Thanksgiving, family. You talk about Christmas, Kwanzaa, and all that shit, Hanukkah, family. So you're right. This is that time of year where those things can lay dormant all the way up into this week. And then all of a sudden, slowly unraveling until all hell fucking breaks loose. So people, Amir says it all the time, but I think this time, like, how I said, don't just hear it. Like even me just now, I heard it different. You say it all the time. Check on your people. You never know what somebody's going through. Say it all the time. And I hear it all the time. But for some reason, right now, in this moment, I'm hearing it. You know what I mean? Because it makes all the sense in the world. I'm a math guy. I tell you that all the time. And the numbers don't lie. And that's the numbers. Excuse me, add up. So, in closing with that part of the show, check on your peoples, man. Do know that we're living in blended times. Stop walking around. We don't have that luxury no more. Oh, that's white people. Yeah, that's what we don't have that luxury no more. Because now, and like you just brought up another great point of COVID. Since that, I call it the end of the world. I call it the great reset. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's a whole, reset. Like, so if you see somebody acting brand new or saying they're going to do something brand new, give them benefit of the doubt. Because why not? I've seen a gazillion people. I mean, come on, just look at social media alone. How many people have we seen, we've known all these years, and all of a sudden they on social media looking like Katie Charlie, or fucking Al Roker or whatever, to each his own. Whatever floats your boat, I'm not mad at you. Now, one thing I do want to get to that's heavily on my mind, because I'm getting a lot, I don't know about you, but I'm getting a lot of solicitation in the inboxes, the emails, messaging, even personal texts and stuff, where we just talked about people diving into other forms of business, revenue, and stuff like that. So we have a whole slew. Not that we haven't already had a lot of Black businesses. Now we got a whole slew of new Black businesses and Black services. And we've been on this shit for a couple of years where, we're supporting Black again. We're going to buy Black. We're going to support Black. We're going to do that. So, I have nothing against that. I'll be the first to say, it's the holiday season. Let's buy Black and support Black during the holiday season. Let's do that. Why not? It makes sense. We Black, they Black. Let's get these businesses flourishing. Now, I'll say that, but I'll also say this shit too. To you Black business motherfuckers. You want, and hear me clearly. You want people to stop buying here or share some of the buying, whether you stop altogether or some of it, and bring that money over to here and buy from your Black establishment or business. The motherfucker, your customer service has to meet the standard of wherever the fuck I'm coming from, or better. I'm not, what I'm telling you right now, I'm not. And I don't give a fuck what color you are or where you came from. My tolerance for my consumerism is very fickle, to say the least. So if I say, you know what, I've been buying my shirts over here, I'm going to take it to this brother because he does the same thing, Black owned, boom. The minute that brother makes me feel like the customer service is bullshit, I'm right back over here. Back over here. Perfect example is, and here's the thing about service. Sometimes good service, customer service don't mean everything's perfect, everything's on time, but good customer service means that you give a fuck about the customer.
Thanks.
So let's say, like, okay, I got I think I'm dealing with 4 places I get my merch done up at, right? So the place the guy that in the West Coast that Rodney Perry hooked me up with, I don't know this guy. I've never met this guy in my life. Rodney said, hey, man, I want you to hook with this guy. His work is impeccable, whatever. Hooks us up. I get to work with this guy. Again, we don't know each other. But I love the way he does business. He can always get my business because of the way he does it. Can I get it done cheaper somewhere? Absolutely. But when I get it done cheaper, did they match his level of customer service? No. His level of honesty, transparency. Like I said, everything ain't gonna work out. Sometimes we put together a schedule, this shit don't work out at all. But if you have the professional mindset, you know how to convey those messages and have those conversations. Everything's not you fired. Everything's not fuck you, I'm going over here, blah, blah, blah. It's how you handle said business. You know what I mean? So me and this guy, you know, we have a great rapport where everything is going lovely. It's like an oiled machine at this point. But that's my point. We yell out support black businesses all the time. We yell that shit out with a bullhorn. But all you people with the black business, you must come correct as well. You understand what I'm saying? Like you must come correct as well. When a person spends their hard-earned money to give you something, you need to make them feel whatever, or get it right, or try your best, or go out your way. Like, you know, I'm never looking at somebody like, oh well, fuck you, you know, blah blah blah. You know, I've seen people down and out and had to sell something for less than what it's worth because the person wholeheartedly wanted that and I felt was going to do a great job with having whatever that item is. This person wants really, really bad to wear your shirt with your brand and take it places and bullhorn talk you up with positivity and all that stuff like that. You can't put a number on that type of stuff.
No, you can't.
So I don't have a problem with that. But too many of our black people are vying for our dollar, the black dollar, and saying, man, don't buy over there, buy over here, man. I got the same shit. I got blah, blah, blah. Okay, but a lot goes with that. I was in the hood last week. Well, not last week, shit, for the past few weeks. I'm in the hood, and more than one occasion, there's somebody out here that just started selling dinners, I think. Like, they got a little small takeout restaurant, whatever, and they selling dinners, whatever.
Okay.
And every time I go to the bar, you get at least one or two people complaining about the price versus the portion. I give you I need people to understand that your price must match your portion. The people that, you know what I mean? People that eat, this is what the fuck they do. They eat, so they know what Sammy's is gonna give them when they order fried shrimp. They know what Applebee's gonna give them when they order the salad. They know the size of the portions versus the amount charged for said things. So when you open up, you got to take all that in consideration. You can't say, give me $30 a soul food plate. And motherfuckers is like, I got a piece of meat and two little scoops aside. Like, really? 30?
Yeah, right? Exactamundo. I agree with you, T. And it's you know, it's so funny because I was saying the same thing. I said, you know, like you said, we tell ourselves like, hey, you know what, I'm gonna go support, you know, this movement. I'm gonna make sure that, you know, this is how I'm moving and shaking, and you know, everything about it is gonna be good. And then to your exact point, they don't give you the customer service that you really deserve and need, so that you can go, you know what? Not only can I continue to support this, but I can tell people about it.
Right.
That's where the problems lie. Have a great one. That's where the problems lie, because now, not only can I not tell anybody about it, but then I can't also make it so that it's, you know, totally unbelievable. We have got to do a better job, not only of giving great customer service, but we got to do a great job of understanding that we should be serving each other the same way we supposedly turn that on for everybody else, because we turn it on for everybody else with the quickness. I watch customer service in every, you know, format of business that you and I, you know, have the opportunity to be in and out of. And, you know, the white guy comes in or whatever, and all of a sudden you super attentive and trying to do all the right things.
Yeah,
but I come
man.
in there and you give me half attitude. You give me partial, like you said, service. Portion sizes don't, you know, add up to what they're supposed to add up to. And I'm like, what are we doing? Like, come on, we got to do better. And I don't mean this as a knock to anybody. I'm just saying, if we're going to do it, then you got to give the same energy across the board. Don't make it, you know, I do it for one group or one set of people,
You know,
and then make it all good.
One of my biggest pet peeves, bro. I told you that time I went and got to that hotel. I think I was doing some work for Sean Harvey in Pennsylvania, and went to get the room, and his assistant, you know, managing the front desk, and gave me the whole bullshit. You know, you got to wait, checking in to this time, ain't no room, da, da, da. And I sat right there in front of her on the couch, like, no problem, ma'am. I'll be right here when the room becomes available, and watch 3 more, you know, Caucasian customers come in back to back. And all of a sudden, it was a room
super readily available. Don't do that. Yeah,
Like,
don't do that.
and not only that, her whole attitude changed.
See,
The whole
and I
attitude
think
went from the whole, checking into like that stoic shit to hello, hi, yes, no problem, giggling and shit. And I'm like, wow. I'm
this is
like,
what we
wow.
doing.
And I'm a comedian. So I'm coming in on some comical shit.
Like, okay, this really what you want to do, ma'am? Because trust and believe, this not what you want. But I promise you, that is one of, like you said, one of my biggest pet peeves with us as well. And then I also don't like the fact that if you have a business, be on time. If your shit is supposed to open up at 8 o'clock,
Ouch.
don't have me get there at 8 o'clock and you motherfuckers is opening up at 9. Like that. Yeah. See, do you know how many joints I've been to where I had to scream at somebody? I'm like, yo, dog, you got a whole sign that says you open up at 8. And then they
Right.
got the nerve to have attitude with like
Yeah, they
you
don't
want.
get attitude with you.
You're like, wait a minute, sir, I came to patronize your punk ass. Well, like, what are we talking about? How you gonna be mad at me for some shit that you're not doing right? It's the
Yo,
craziest
that
thing
is
to
my
me.
biggest pet peeve, bro. Like, cause that is the work version of Uncle Tom, like a motherfucker. That is the work version of Uncle Tom all day. So I already know about that shit. But yeah, I mean, I don't have a problem, bro. Like, I'm the first guy because I'm a black guy and I sell my own merch. So I get it. I'm all for that shit. I think everybody should, do these things that they believe in and want to do, but don't do it without doing your due diligence of what that means. Being a business owner, being a proprietor. What is this going to really entail and mean if I do it? You know what I mean? Not just open up shop because people think they could throw a coat of paint up
And you
and
got a
get a
business.
couple of dressers or cabinets, and yeah, we open. What's up? No, motherfucker, hold on. Like,
Yeah.
there's so much that goes with that. You understand what I'm saying? Like, and here's the thing: if I tell people, this is my biggest piece of advice. Anybody that want to get into the sort of proprietorship, and I'm dead serious. If you are not, and we all know ourselves, cut the bullshit. If you are not a people person,
Going into
business dealing
businesses,
with people might not be for you. Unless
Factamundo.
you go sit in the back office and hire the people persons to put a good face on the front, because I've seen that happen time and time again. A person who's totally horrible with people, but they want to open up some people shit.
Facts. Super facts. Not to mention, okay, and that's a super point. I'm sorry from all this moving and stuff. Like I said, I was on location.
It's
T
okay.
is absolutely right. Yo, if you're not a people person, business is probably not for you at all. That's not a personal thing. Doesn't make you a bad person, because in business, you have to deal with people. That's just the long and short of it. It is sales and what you call it. So if you don't know how to do those kind of transactions, it's not for you.
Amir is like the sex phone operator with an attitude.
You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, what you got on? Why the fuck you want to know what I got? God damn.
Okay, well, yeah, okay. Obviously, this is not your thing here. We're gonna have to get you a whole different job, man. This is not for you. But I promise you, we live in a world where that seems to be how people, move and shake, and that's how people do things.
Right.
And we've just got to do a better job. And like he said, and here's the thing about the black owned too. Look, you could be bougie with your black ownness, and support as well. I find it ironic how we will prefer Polo over Izod or Gucci over Louis Vuitton. And then when it comes to our black owned businesses, for some reason, if you pick one over the other, now people are looking at you strange. You didn't do that when I was doing Gucci and Louis Vuitton. What's the difference? All I'm saying is, you want to go, like you said, where your money is appreciated. You want to go where you're appreciated. You want to go where you can get the most bang for your buck. And then the bottom line is this, and I mean this wholeheartedly. The other thing we have to start doing, or do a better job of, is please stop allowing yourselves to be duped into believing certain brands of this, that, and the third, only because for years and years and years, that's what you heard. For anybody who's truly a Louis Vuitton fan and all that, that's not even real leather. It's not even real leather. That's just the honest to God truth. That's not even real leather. They tell you that. But y'all run out and I got me that new Louis Vuitton. It was $900. Okay, or $1,000. You paying $1,000 for plastic? What is wrong with you? Get your whole life together.
Nigga done bought $1,000 worth of frog souls.
Okay,
like bottom of frog food.
Like what are y'all doing? And we won't for the better, for whatever reason, we won't look at our situations. Excuse me again, y'all. We won't look at our situations and realize that that's what we up against. You got to say to yourself, let me look at stuff. I know you guys, like I am, get those things, especially if you're on social media with all of these new black brands that are doing their best to make their mark on the world. These designer bags by, some of these new young people who have some fire stuff, by the way.
Right.
What is the difference? I remember a time, it's so funny, T, because I remember a time, especially like you said, when we was younger, when that's what we looked for was the exclusivity, meaning I got talents, and I know nobody got that. Now all of y'all are just carbon copies of one another, and for whatever reason, that seems to be okay. I'm like, that's not how we grew up. We definitely didn't grow up like that. We always was on some, nah, son, I only know 2 other people. And at least, to my recollection, there was nothing worse than going into a club or any other kind of social setting and seeing somebody with the same shit you had on and they not be really represented. You'd be like, and this nigga's rocking it wrong. Damn it, man.
Me rocking it wrong. You know what's funny? It's funny you say that about people having an attitude with supporting one or the other. I just had this conversation, shout out to Sean Harvey. And because Sean was out and about this weekend, and we have a couple of brothers in our comedy game, comedians that opened up some establishments in Harlem. And for some reason, at least one of the dudes, from my understanding of the conversation with Sean, is look at it like a competition. And it's not. It just happened to be 2 dudes. They got 2 spots in Harlem. Now, one dude, you've been to comedy in Harlem. Jamie's spot, my boy, shout out to Jamie Roberts and Nikki Sunshine. Their spot is a straight up and down comedy club. They made a comedy club. Stage, backdrop, brick wall, seating, everything, bar in the corner, bathrooms. It's a comedy club, straight up and down. They're not trying to fool you, whatever. You know what it is. You know what you're getting into. Now, down the block is my brother Omar's spot. Omar Thompson. Shout out to Omar Thompson. Congratulations, entrepreneurs himself. But his spot is more of an event space, right? Okay. So people throw their baby showers, the weddings. He had little seminar meetings. He's able to convert it into whatever the fuck he wants. Every now and then he might do a comedy show. They might have a rapper, whatever. It's convertible. It's an event space. So there's no reason for you to look at yourself as competition to your brother across the street. However, Sean said he's in his spot at somebody's birthday party, and he's venting to him like, yo, why everybody don't fuck with me and you fuck with Jamie? And he's like, what do you mean? It's like, y'all be over there doing all the shows, bringing shows to here. Sean was like, well, first of all, bro, it's a comedy club. His spot is designed for what we're trying to do, so it's more conducive. He said, take me, for instance. I got people come from PA to come to my joint. I can't go to Omar's spot. You have no parking. You know what I mean? You don't have no accommodations for people that drove an hour and a half, 2 hours to come to support this event. This dude got a big parking fucking structure right here if you don't find it on the street. It's a comedy club. I know I'm going to sit down. I got a booth. I got a couch. I got a chair. I got a bar. I know I got the things I need. And to your point, when you said, oh, we open at this and you don't open, you said, and he said, you can't. He said, Omar's spot is strange because whatever building or wherever he is, he really can't open till after they close. That's how he gets the parking spots or whatever. And so I was like, this dude, when I say the door's open and people can come and park, they need that. They can't come and be straggling or lost or inconvenient because he said, then I'm not going to get them out again. So, but he's like, and when he's telling me this, I'm like, I can't see for the life of me why you would even see this as a competition. You know what I mean? This is not a competition. You have an event space. This guy has a comedy club. And by people playing the comedy club, they're comedians. They're not turning their back on you or whatever. So it ended off with him saying something to the effect of, in 6 months, I'm opening a comedy club, watching, and I'm competing with him, right? Like that. And I said, wow, that's the thing. We come up in a broken system that's not ours. That we climb out of it, we make our way, we do what we do, we get to the point of ownership. And what do? We turn around and do what the clubs used to do to us. Back in the day, in some places it still goes on, where let's say it's 2 comedy clubs in the city, and they'll put the pressure on you. They say, hey, if you play that one, you can't play this. We're not booking you over here if you do that one. And then vice versa. And we come from that system, and we hated it because I don't make a living off of doing a show one time at one place. My career is based off of a lot of shows, a lot of times, at a lot of places. I'm not in the business to stunt my growth, or I'm not allowed there, I'm not allowed there, I'm not allowed. That's not how it's supposed to work. But they try to hone you and keep you into that box so they could manipulate you and facilitate you the way they see fit. Now we break that mold. We get out of that shit. And what are you talking about doing? Turning around and doing the same shit that held us down for decades. You're about to do that again, but only within your own community. That's fucking appalling, bro.
It is. And just to add to that, and again, we're talking about buying black at this, particular point. And please, like I said, whatever designers, whatever hairstylists, whatever artists, whatever, have come to know as black owned and you can support, please support it. The thing that I'll say about that, which is to me really disheartening, is this. Now, it may go on in other ethnicities. I don't know, because I'm not those other ethnicities. But one of the things that disturbs me about us in particular is us always, trying to crown somebody something, meaning he or she is the GOAT or the best boss or the biggest or the greatest or whatever, as opposed to, no, we're all just working together. And guess what? As long as we're working together, everybody's eating, everybody's living, everybody's taking something away from this that they can then utilize to continue to grow. I wish and I pray that as we close this year, and most certainly as we go into the new year, that whoever gets an opportunity to see this, you start to think to yourself, us against each other is not what it's about. It's us supporting each other is what this is all about. Because the more we support each other, the less likely we are to have situations where we're then, left with, like you said, they're not supporting this over here, or they're not supporting that over there. The reality of it all is we're supporting it all. It just is going to be at different times and at different moments. And if you can't cheer for your brother or sister who may be next to you, who may be in front of you, who may be behind you, or whatever the case may be, how do you ever expect to get cheers when it's your turn? I'm going to say that one more time. If you can't cheer for your sister or brother who's to the left of you, to the right of you, in front of you, and back of you, and right now it seems to be their time, then how do you ever expect to have that moment where it's your time and the cheers are for you? We have to do a much, much better job as people of color cheering for each other. First of all, you don't lose anything. You're talking about a world that has billion or so people, a couple of billion people. So you're always going to be able to find a niche, some group, whatever. But please stop saying, well, he or she took away from, no, they didn't. It's their time. It's their moment. And all you should do is go, that's dope. I'm happy to see them having their time and their moment, because your time and your moment is coming. But again, that's only predicated if you're smart enough to understand that everything has a time and has a moment. And when you start to really put that in your mental, when you start to live that way, when you start to think that way, when you start to move that way, you'll see doors and things opening up for yourself that you can't even begin to imagine. So a lot of those doors that have been closed to you, a lot of the things that have been closed to you is because you won't cheer for your brother or your sister. You won't cheer for your coworker. You won't cheer for your partner. So you keep thinking to yourself, well, nobody likes me. How's anybody gonna like you? You don't like you. Because it takes nothing to cheer for somebody else. It takes nothing to go, wow, that's dope. Happy for that person. Great to see them, winning or whatever the case may be. And here's the thing about winning. Again, everything is perception. I know that, we didn't even get to this point today, but I'm gonna do it anyway. Everything is perception. So when it appears to you somebody else is doing something that you think is so great and the world is behind them, it's perception. Because just as many people who are, happy to see them winning and excited about it, somebody praying for their downfall. Actually, quite a few people praying for their downfall. Why? Because I don't want to see them win. For no other reason other than you just don't want to see somebody else be in great spirits and great energy because you don't know how to put yourself there. That's on you. That's not somebody else's job. I keep telling you, a lot of stuff that we find ourselves dealing with are all inside jobs. But a lot of y'all got to start being honest with yourselves. Too many of y'all are running around here. I'm in this position because this person did this to me or that person did that to me. No, you're in that position because you did that to you. And when you start being honest with yourself about the stuff that you've done to yourself, good, bad, and different, and start doing things to change it, in and including your mind frame and your mindset, because none of the stuff changes. You could say all day, I want to lose weight. But if you still think like a fat person, guess what you're going to continue to be? These things are just how the world works. T is a perfect example of what happens when you believe not only in yourself, your craft, but you bet on yourself. Everybody's mad at Dion. The one great thing that came out of what he's done in the last, month or so is telling everybody at some point you got to bet on yourself. How many of y'all are betting on yourselves? So many of y'all are betting on everybody else, and it's this person, and they didn't want to help me, so then I couldn't get it done. You didn't want to help you. My mom used to say this to me. I say this all the time. My mom used to say, it's a mighty poor rat that only has one hole. And as a kid, I never understood it because I was like, first of all, I don't like rats, man. I don't know why you scare me with that crazy thought. But now that I'm older, I understand it because in theory, it just means you got to understand that you got to make pathways for yourself. You've got to believe in yourself. You've got to do the work. And the biggest thing that you got to do is do the work. There is no shortcuts to success. Talent isn't 30-something years in the game because he took a shortcut. He woke up one morning and just was successful in comedy. He's 30 years in the game because he still hits stages and says, you know what? I'm going to challenge myself. I'm going to see if I can still kill a room and give them 45 minutes to an hour and just go hard. If you don't do that for yourself, then what are you doing? And I don't care what it is you do. I'm just telling you, continue to challenge yourself. If you're a great seamstress, then make yourself one of the dopest outfits you've ever made and then rock that bad boy to everything so that people see it, know it, understand it. If you're a great singer, this platform gives you the opportunity. Get on here and sing. Do a video where you just sing and just post it and let the rest of the world figure that out. Like, oh my God, I didn't know you could sing. If you're a great chef, here's one young lady, I don't know if y'all see her on TikTok, kind of chubby sister. I watch every video she ever does about cooking. She be doing wings and all kind of stuff, but every video be dope. I'll be like, yo, I gotta watch this. Let's see what she's doing now. But I'm just saying, because you're becoming gross by watching people who seemingly do what they love, because then it doesn't look like they're working. It looks like they're absolutely enjoying themselves. And in all fairness, that's what this time of year is about. That's what your life is about. Finding something that you enjoy and sharing it and just letting the world figure that part out.
And there you have it, people. That's why you didn't see the jewel of the day, because this whole show is the jewel of the week. You know what I mean? Like this whole show, we're starting that week. That's going to be a lot of stress on some people, a lot of strain on some people. And we're hoping to alleviate some of those pressures and shine a high beam, if you will, on the things that lead to that overpressuring. So again, keep in mind that we're not in the old day times. We're in blended times. So don't think that because your friend that's suffering, that that black or Hispanic dude or Asian dude, he's gonna be all right because only white people do suicide. No, everybody does. Everybody numbers are up because suicide is up. because the world is up, stress is up, depression is up, all those things are, loneliness is up, loss is definitely up. We all watched that together. Over the last 3 years, we've watched millions of people perish from this earth, gone way too soon. So know that we're in blended times, suicide and all that's up. And like he said, this time of year especially, check on people. Don't forget, I heard that. And support your own. Let's buy black. Let's support black businesses. But in the same token, black business people, let's do that.
Be on point.
So that they
point.
Not so that you. This is what I always tell people. Same thing I think about with shows. Like, don't think about selling that one item. Think about acquiring a customer for a long period of time. That take every item. I tell people this all the time. My marketing strategy is, let's just say, to minimize it, I want 100 loyal customers, right? That buy a It's Just Comedy t-shirt or hat. That's really all I need, because all I got to do when I sell these 100 is do it in blue. Guess what? That same 100 people like, you know what? Give me the blue. I don't have blue. I don't know you have blue. You got blue? Give me blue. And then 2 months from then, guess what y'all got? Orange. And you say, how do you sell 100 every time you come out? Build the base. I'm more concerned with people that are wearing it because they want to wear it and not because I want them to wear it. Hear me out. I'm not trying to sell to the people that want to wear it because I want them to wear it. I want the people who want to wear it. And those people stay loyal. Now you have something, you're on to something. But guess what? If you do it wrong, if your customer service is bullshit, if you're disrespectful, if you act like they're doing you a favor, there's so many things that can go wrong where they go, you know what? Either right there on the spot, put it back and go, no, I'm good on that. Or walk out feeling some sort of way like, I'll never buy nothing from this motherfucker, man. I'm not coming to this spot anymore. You know what I mean? So keep all those things under consideration. Take care of yourself, everybody. This is a very important week. Whether you are a Christmas church person or not, it's still the holiday season. I tell you, like I tell my kids, because some of them are pro-black and they got the meaning of Christmas and they go give you the history lesson. Did you know Saint Nick was on the boat with Christopher Columbus? I'm like, no. I didn't know. Saint Nick had a sled. Speaking of Christmas, good entertaining movie to see is Violent Night, the Christmas movie. They say the description is awesome. They say it's Home Alone meets Die Hard. If you haven't seen this movie, please go see this movie. First of all, there's a million funny parts, but the action is stupendous, and the surprise in there is gonna make you go, "Oh shit!" Like, wow, that adds something to it. So get 2 thumbs up from me. You know, I'm tough on movies sometimes, but not right now. I'm about to dive into. Let me recommend Yellowstone to people. Start from the beginning. If you haven't seen, I'm about to start 1923. Go watch another one, 1800 something. It's a spinoff. They go up a couple of generations before Kevin Costner, and this one comes up another generation before Kevin Costner, 1923. But all on Paramount Plus. A lot of fun, good stuff out there for the holidays. Whatever you do it right, do it as safe as possible, and keep other people in mind before you. All right, so long as you do that, you done did the holiday right as far as I'm concerned. It's your boy Amir Silly, Talon Harris, Prophet Pete on the production. It's been another Stone Cold Blast. Thank you for giving us your hour, people. We know your time is delicate and important. We do know that. We don't take it for granted. Hopefully you got a little bit more motivated today. Thank you. Signing off. Motivation Monday. Peace.
It's Monday, cocksuckers, and you better come prepared because they don't fuck around on Monday. Monday, most people come in, I had such a great weekend. Oh my God, go fuck yourself. That was then. This is now, bitch. It's a whole new set of rules. It's Monday. If you ain't waking up with the taste of blood in your fucking mouth like a shark 5 feet from the shore, you fucked up. You understand? Because Monday is when you go,